Hello, Kimmy Wallace here from Wallace and Wallace Healing Center. And I want to welcome you to episode number 1 of Creation Counts. This is pretty exciting for me because I get to share my heart and my passion about healing through the use of all of the gifts that have been given around us by Creator. And so, yeah, I want us to spend just a couple of minutes talking about what clinical aromatherapy is. Some people hear the term aromatherapy and immediately their eyes glaze over, they roll their eyes back in their head because of bad connotations. But the reality is there is a difference between aromatherapy and clinical aromatherapy, namely education. Anyone, at least in Canada, anyone can put up a shingle and say that they are an aromatherapist. And in fact, lots of people dabble in aromatherapy. You can go down to Walmart and buy some essential oils and consider yourself an aromatherapist. But a clinical aromatherapist is someone who has taken time to study materia aromatica, right? Like to study anatomy and physiology, and has taken time to learn how the essence of these plants interact with our bodies. The School for Aromatic Medicine defines clinical aromatherapy as the therapeutic use and application of genuine and authentic plant-derived essential oils for healing body, mind, and spirit. We can also say in a different way that it's the art and science, because it's never exact. The art and the science of applying essential oils therapeutically for the express purpose of healing, and that's what I do at Wallace and Wallace Healing Center. We combine psychotherapy with this practice, this complementary modality of using essential oils and plant material to complement the healing process. It's one of those things where we have lost our connection with the world around us, with creation, right? It's much easier for us to go into a store and to pick up a box off the shelf and to pop a couple pills and not think anything else of it. But our ancestors knew that the plants around us, the trees and the bark and the flowers and the roots, they all hold medicine that can help us deal with whatever it is that we're wrestling with. As a clinical aromatherapist, I don't diagnose, I don't prescribe. I'm certainly not going to contradict any sort of medical advice that's been given out there, but I have spent over 400 hours. I went and got my certification from my training from the Essentia School of Aromatherapy. And so shout out to my professors who have brought me on this journey and taught me most all of what I know. And then I took 2 really hard exams, national board exams, to verify that I actually know what I'm talking about. And so I am certified through the Canadian Federation of Aromatherapists as a certified aromatherapy health professional, a CAHP. And so I take what I've learned and I apply it in a clinical setting. I have an office that has all of my oils and has the place where I do my consultations and has a massage table where I do therapeutic aromatherapy, where I'm using the healing power of touch along with these essences of the plants to help people move towards a place of well-being emotionally and relationally and physically and spiritually. And this is what I do. It's a joy and a delight. Now, some people will ask, well, is this kind of like Reiki, or like what is no, it's actually quite different, right? So while I respect those that practice other forms of alternative healing, for myself, I don't do any sort of energy healing. I am purely working with the chemical constituents and the ways that they interact with your brain, particularly your limbic system, through your olfactory system. So when you're smelling these essential oils, or when you're applying them topically, they affect your body in a direct way that is very different than something like energy healing or other sorts of alternative medicines. In terms of the way that it complements psychotherapy, let me give you an example, right? So if you take something like anxiety has a definite mental health piece. And my wife would sit down with a client in a traditional counseling session, a traditional psychotherapy setting, and would use various therapies that is from that field to address the mental health piece. But then I would also work with the client, and I would work with them on a physiological piece, right? And so I would say, okay, if you're experiencing this anxiety, your amygdala is firing rapidly, your cortisol production is off the roof, you can't get it to come back down. What essential oils can we use to help lower that in a physiological standpoint? And so they end up working together, psychotherapy and clinical aromatherapy, because on one hand, we're addressing a physical issue that's happening in the brain, and on another, we're addressing the mental health aspect of the thought that is coming through the brain. And so they pair in a unique way that we don't see that often in most clinical practices. It's one of the reasons why we say we're holistic. We're addressing the entire person, both physically and emotionally. And so, yeah, that's a little bit about clinical aromatherapy. If you are interested in finding out more, I would love to have more of a conversation. And so connect with me via the email that you see in the show notes, or on the video here at the end. And let's continue this conversation. I want to invite you to please do subscribe, because you don't want to miss a single episode of this. And I look forward to introducing the oils that I use and how they work, and the variety, the immense variety. There are hundreds of oils from all around the world that people have been using for many, many years in one way or another, that many of us over here in the West are just learning to use as we're seeking natural means of taking care of ourselves. And so with that, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you next time.